started. First up, we have the spotlight effect. This is when we think everyone's watching us, but they are not. Remember that time you tripped in the public and felt like the whole world saw? Chances are most people didn't even notice. Next up, we have halo effect. It's when we assume someone good at one thing is good at everything. Like think a handsome actor must also be a smart and the kind, but look can be deceiving. Well, have you heard of a confirmation bias? We tend to look for information that supports what we already believe. We often ignore facts that challenge our views. This can make it hard to change our mind even when we are wrong. Now, let's discuss the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's when people with a little knowledge think they are expert. Meanwhile, true experts often doubt their abilities. Isn't it funny how confident and the competence don't always match? Here is an interesting one, a social proof. We tend to follow what others are doing, especially in the uncertain situation. Ever pick a busy restaurant over an empty one? That's a social proof in action. Well, let's talk about the cognitive dissonance. It's the discomfort we feel when our actions don't match our beliefs. We often change our belief to match our actions, not the other way around. Well, have you ever justified a bad decision to make yourself feel better? Next up is the availability heuristic. We judge how likely something is based on how easily we can think of example. That's why we might fear shark attacks more than a car accidents, even though car accidents are much more common. Well, have you experienced the sunk cost fallacy? It's when we continue with something because we have already invested time and the money, like finishing a bad movie just because we have watched half of it. Sometimes it's better to cut our losses and move on. Now, let's explore anchoring bias. This is when we rely too heavily on the first information we receive. For example, the first price we see often influences how much we are willing to pay. That's why sales tactics often show a high original price cross out. Here's a fun one, the IKEA effect. We tend to value things more if we have put efforts into creating them. That's why your wobbly homemade shelf might be your favorite piece of furniture. It's not just a shelf, it's your creation. Now, let's talk about a projection bias. This is when we assume others think and feel the same way. It can lead to misunderstanding and the conflicts. Remember, everyone has a unique perspective.